So, hi, lovely sisters and brothers. Let's see. Hello, hello, hello. So, let's check in. So, we have a live chat. Hello, with ISMAEL PEREZ. So, I hope he will come in, and then we have a live talk on Instagram and talking about the current energies and updates. Hello, nice to see you here. Yeah, I was already live a few minutes ago. So, hi, you watch from Istanbul? Oh, that's cool. Much love to Istanbul. Thank you. Hello, nice to see you here. Hi. So, let's see. Okay, because hello, I see you. Nice to see you. Hello. Okay, then ISMAEL is here. Can I add him? I hope it works now. I don't know if this is correct. No, that's not correct. I made him an admin, right? But how can I? 1 second. Here. Oh no, it. Hi, nice to see you, lovely sisters and brothers. Hello, much love to Turkey. Nice to see you. Okay. Hello.
Hi, Akura.
Hey. Now, yeah, you can see me. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I am excited about the coming changes. Our moment has finally
Mm-hmm.
arrived, my sister. So,
Mm-hmm.
well, thank you and yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much. There's really a lot happening right now. So, you also reacted on the video I've published about Jeffrey Epstein,
Yeah, I
and I
loved it. I just
saw,
reposted it on my story.
yeah, I also saw it on YouTube. You had live streams and you explained what's happening from behind. So do
Oh,
you
the
want to
different layers.
introduce yourself? There are so many new people here.
Sorry about that. I accidentally locked the door. Yeah, we're live. So, for
Hmm.
those that don't know me, my name is ISMAEL PEREZ, and I am the author of Our Cosmic Origin, which restores galactic history back to the Earth and also reveals the Earth's place within the organized multiverse. And so, I've been sharing information for quite some time now regarding our multidimensional nature, the galactic wars, the war with AI at a cosmic level beyond our galaxy. And I am just, so honored to be a part of the best community ever that is emerging during these days. And it's just an honor to be here and, collaborating with great souls like Akura, who's also doing her own divine work on this planet. And I also want to extend gratitude for the work that you do and for all of the volunteers that are watching for the works that you guys do, even though I don't know you guys individually, but I know we were all distributed geographically for a reason worldwide.
Hmm.
And that has a lot to do with um, activating the new Earth grid. And so congratulations, guys. We're almost there.
Yes, of course, of course. Yeah, that's so cool to see. So you also wrote many books, right? So I
Yeah.
see it here in the background. You also have some books available.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one right here, The Secret Government, believe it or not, I wrote that when I was only 24 years old.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
my dream back then when I was 18 and 19 was to be a university professor in political science and
Mm-hmm.
philosophy and metaphysics and physics and all that. So I wrote this book to see if I could get my thesis. It was like 348 pages. I wanted to go straight for my PhD
Hmm.
because I was very bored when it came to the prerequisites, and they just laughed at me. They called it conspiracy theory. So this book didn't really do well back then, 2008. So what I
Hmm.
did is I actually published it about 2 years ago. And
Hmm.
now people are starting to understand this whole history, this whole war between good and evil,
Yeah,
and how it's always been related to secret societies, secret
exactly.
societies. Yeah. And
Yeah, I
so my
already know you around many, many years now. So on YouTube. So I remember you from Kimberly Palm and Salini. I know you. So, and we also had the honor 2 years ago, I think, on Instagram. We had a light code meditation together. Do you remember? It was a big group.
God.
Um,
Yeah, that was such a beautiful thing that we did on the internet. I mean, we had so many people involved in those meditations.
mm,
I think we made a difference due to the Maharishi effect. I think we definitely shifted the collective, and we can
yes.
continue to do so. So,
Yes, it would be
mhm.
great doing it again. So I was thinking, so we need
Ah,
that meditation groups again. It was so much fun, really. And there
I,
were so many cool people coming together and we helped shifting the energies. So yeah, I saw also some of your last live streams and you also talk about three atlas. So,
mhm.
and I think you see almost the same what I see. It is the high council. It's not a flying rock in space.
I know. And I was kind of so bummed and disappointed at NASA, and I kind of,
Mm,
expected for them to just beat around the bush with it and just give us false information. Oh, it is a comet, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, well, the most recognized professor at Harvard University, Avi Loeb, is saying otherwise. Come on, guys. This thing is not no floating rock.
mm,
And when you find that with all the evidence that is coming in through a lot of the people that are connected to the energies, we know that it's not malevolent. There are rumors that I guess this guy named Sebastian was spreading. He was first interviewed on Gaia. He was saying that it had Dracos and stasis, and there were like over 500 million Dracos that were just waiting to come and collect the star seeds or something. And I'm like, no,
I
that's not.
saw that video too. Hmm.
So, to me, it was just about letting people know, like, the truth about really us coming from the future, from different levels of reality. So, yeah, we have a variety of different star nations that are all on board, and they're all part of this excursion of, coming in a time where it is time for them to reunite with their human avatars, because that's what we are. We're still them, right? They're still us in the future. So this is really where the future and the past begin to collapse in the present moment. And that's what's happening right now.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, so that's why I've been doing a lot of lives, you could say, or presentations regarding 3i Atlas. And, everything is aligning with all the scientific evidence that it was projected from the center of our universe around the Sagittarius A system. And
Hmm.
I come to understand that about 200,000 years from now in the future, when we become a type 3 advanced spiritual civilization, we relocate to the center of our universe, and our Earth evolves into a planet by the name of Auralis Prime. And then I come to find out that within the uh, Earth Alliance movement, there is this project, or operation called the Aurora Project, which is to bring about the disclosure. So it's
Hmm.
kind of interesting, like the way it all connects with like all the evidence and everything. While people are still thinking Project Blue Beam, which is that's been
Yes,
canceled long ago.
I know all these theories. So it's so much fear about three atlas. So, and I know so
Yeah.
many stars, it's private saying, I can see them. I can hear them. I also have people in my session saying, hey, I never had encounters, but I can see them now. So I can see my cosmic sisters and brothers. And it's so cool that the truth is now coming out. You see, is there's that divine order, and all these illusions are now collapsing, even about NASA. So I watched it a little bit, and I was really thinking, how can they be so serious without laughing? How
Yeah.
is it possible? And the images they show to us, so their hobby YouTube channels, they release so beautiful 3 atlas pictures. How is it possible? The quality of the pictures they share. So people questioning, and that is so cool to see that we are really waking up now.
Hmm. Yeah, it's all part of the great galactic prophecy
Yeah, it
that
is.
that is coming into fruition.
Mm-hmm.
So, one thing to understand is that due to my connections with my galactic avatar and other dimensional selves, I came to realize that um, we're all operating different bodies at the same time in different realities. And to
Mm-hmm.
me, the moment of ascension is really just reintegrating with all of those avatars into the here and the now, collapsing them into the
Yeah.
present moment. which is what they call in the esoteric knowledge integration of the oversoul, right? The oversoul,
Yeah, exactly.
all your incarnations and everything that you are on parallel Earth realities, on different timelines, on different dimensions, just collapsing into one oversoul.
Yeah, exactly. And you embody it all at the same time. Yeah, I see exact the same. So 3 Atlas is a futuristic timeline. It's
Yes,
us just in the future.
it's us in the future. Yeah,
I
and the
see exact the
reason,
same.
yeah, the reason they're here is because I gather that this is what they were telling me, because I'm actually corresponding with my version that exists in
Mm,
200,000 years from now that is also on board on 3 Atlas. This is how I'm connecting with them. And they're telling me that they're, due to this dimensional conversion that is about to take place, it's not just taking place here on planet Earth, it's actually taking place on many different sectors within our universe. And that is going to affect the outcome of our universe, of the context of our universe, right?
mm,
But they're here because of this dimensional convergence where all of a sudden we're going to start integrating with all of our other dimensional selves. And when we do so, I think that actually correlates with what scientists call the junk DNA that is going to activate, right? They call it junk DNA, but we know it's
mhm.
not junk. And that to me, it's like it correlates to the idea that we're just going to start using our full capacity when we undergo this
Yeah,
multidimensional. So that's why they're telling me that they return so that all we could do is connect with who we are and who we
exactly.
were before coming here.
Hmm. Yeah, the actors showed to me similar pictures. We activating our true essence. They always say your true essence, so you see it now. 3 Atlas is pushing us so much. We're connecting with our true essence, and all these illusions are now collapsing. I mean, you see with Jeffrey, all that blackmail. So everything people can see it. It's so obvious.
Mm-hmm.
For the collective, it's so obvious now. So, and they're helping us so much because many people still say there is no help. Come on, there is no help. It's just an hoax. Why don't they simply come down and invade? So many people are skeptical because the dark side was also hijacking that community strongly.
Oh,
And they
yeah.
have been lied to us so many times. And that is why people are confused. And 3 Atlas helps us now so much. I see the same. So you see crystal clear now. When you really open your heart, you can see all these timelines now in front of you. Even the plans of the dark side. You can see everything now. And I
Chris,
also had starseeds in my session saying, I'm just crying because it's so touching. I never had encounters before. And they told me who I am. So, and you see, there are so many, even in my comments, people say, hey, I'm just in tears. I can see them too now. I feel this is not just a flying rock in space. And you see, they confuse the people so much. NASA, they had so many different statements now. So people cannot take it seriously anymore. And as you say, that's also the divine plan. People questioning it. All the false authorities, they're questioning it. I see
yeah,
it too. So what do you feel about the Enki force? Are they still attacking us strongly? The Anunnaki force.
okay, remember the Anunnaki exist also in different dimensions, not just in the physical realm, but they're also very productive in the astral realm, lower fourth
Mm,
dimension, where they
yeah.
mostly do their thing and all of their shenanigans. But I was told that Enki had been in power this whole time, and he left this planet under the rule of Marduk, his son, who later became the Babylonian chief god Belial. And so what Enki did after the collapse of, after he messed up things in Atlantis, and this is one thing I wanted to correct. See, most people think, and I think that this was all being set up by Eric von Daniken, who wrote the book Chariots of the Gods, and Ancient Aliens. Like all of those programs were designed, and then with the coming of the Sakurai Sitchin translations, they were all designed to make us believe that Enki was our creator, that he created the
Yeah,
human
I
race.
know. Hmm.
And that my friend became, to me, I saw it as a coming alien savior trap agenda where they were going to like make us believe that he was really our creator so that when he returned we could worship him.
Hmm.
Well, when you really look at the records beyond the translations and beyond the modifications, right, because all those records were rewritten by the priesthood of Belial and from Babylon, who took over. When you go back to the original records, which are the Clora Dora Terra Emerald records, CDT plates, and these are holographic records. It's not like you could access them in their physical books that you could read. You actually, they're light encoded translations that you have to access through frequency. So when
Hmm.
you start looking those records and you start hearing about how the original angelic human race, the aura of them as we were then known 560 million years ago, was first created on a higher reality or a higher vibrational earth known as Terra in the
Mhm.
fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, where matter and light have a perfect equilibrium, light body and a physical body are in perfect balance. Then you start questioning the entire Anunnaki narrative. And then when you start also studying how there were other advanced civilizations even before Atlantis. And you have to consider that the Anunnaki were around during the peak of the Atlantean Golden Age, you know? So if
Mhm.
there were other civilizations before Atlantis, right, even going back before Lemuria, they say Hyperborea was around 4 or 5 million years ago. They say that Polaria was around 30 million years ago. So when you start going back to these other civilizations, you start thinking that maybe Enki just came in a moment to tamper with what was already here. And that was
Yeah.
what Atlanteans were. So what he did is he took genetics from the Atlanteans, and this is what all the holy books call the fall of consciousness. And he created a primitive body. And how did he do that? He extracted DNA from Homo erectus, right? And then he extracted DNA from himself. And the Niburian Council never approved for Enki to use his genetics because of his
Mhm.
contaminated DNA due to his
Yeah. Yeah.
mother's seduction of Anu. But he defied the council. They were supposed to use only Anu's genes because he came from the real galactic Lyrian Syrian Anuhasi, who used to be known that. Later they became the Anunnaki. And they were supposed to use his DNA. So Enki just kind of messed everything up. They were supposed to use their DNA, not no Homo erectus though, and Atlantean DNA to create something else. But they
Mhm.
failed to do that. What Enki did is he created a lesser vehicle where he entrapped our souls in a lower dimensional reality, which is the 3D, which is like a matrix, right? Where we become mortal, where we start suffering. And that's what he did. He tampered with God's original creation, and then so that we could, you know, incarnate in these bodies of flesh and blood. And when you study the Gnostic texts all refer to this demiurge, this
Yeah.
demon that they call Yaldabaoth, that also kind of tampered with the original Adam. So there are two Adams, is what I'm saying. There's the original spiritual Adam and Eve, right? And then there is the Lulu, the Adama that was created by the Anunnaki. Well, the Adama is the genetic downgrade of
Mhm.
Enki's experience of the spiritual Adam into a lower level of consciousness in order to control him, right?
Yeah.
Via an
Yeah.
inverted hologram. So that's my understanding of Enki, is that he's known by many names, the great trickster. He corresponds to Loki in Norse mythology.
Yeah.
Uh, so all the gods of mythology are the same beings under different names. Enlil was Zeus, Enki was Poseidon. I mean, it's the same story. It's just different
Mhm.
names. But the whole thing is he was the reason why the original Adamic 12-strand DNA human fell from achieving our full capacity back then
Mhm.
to a lower, lesser specimen
Mhm.
capable of being and
Mhm.
manipulated. And he was the reason why he also created all these like hybrids where he mixed animal genetics with human genetics, and he created all these what they call abominations, which were actually
Mhm.
evil in. Okay, and that's the reason why the flood happened, right? And also he was what some people called Azazel. I think it was Azazel or Samuel. I forget the name. Azazel, who rebelled against God. The Bible calls him the 200 fallen Elohim, right? Who rebelled against God. Well, who are the 200 that followed Enki? The Igigi. Who were the Igigi? They were the Anunnaki that were stationed on Mars. So when you start comparing all of these translations from all of these different, fields of study, Gnosticism, Emerald tablets, other records, and even the Bible, and you compare it all and you integrate it, you start seeing a different story. And so that's why
Exactly.
I've
Yeah.
always Enki was Yaldabaoth. Enki is the demiurge. Enki is the snake in the garden. Uh, Enki is the one who started the Brotherhood of the Snake, which completely destroyed Atlantis. That's when he used his influence to seduce the Atlanteans towards a technocratic type of society as opposed to spiritual development. And eventually, we fell.
I'm so happy you talk on this because I posted about Enki many times myself. Many people did not understand, but I thought Enki's the good guy. I thought he's helping us, so he was also for us. I thought Enlil is the bad guy, so why is Enki now the bad guy? I don't get it. So, and you need to dive very deep into the cosmic history to understand. So, in 2023, so Enki was attacking me so much over and over again in my dreams, vivid dreams, before I slept or before I woke up. All the time I saw him. And he also is a shapeshifter. He can put on many physical bodies, and they're using very advanced AI, dark
Yeah,
spells,
that's true.
super dark
Yeah.
spells, yeah, and a
Yeah.
womanizer.
Oh,
He is
big time.
too. He
Yeah,
is,
he's
yeah.
managed a breach into Galactic Federation piloting systems by extracting genetics from starseed women between the year 2016 and
Mm,
2023, which corresponds to what you just said. You just
yeah.
didn't like that. And that's the reason why he was attacking you.
Mm.
It
Yeah,
was the time.
they attacked many star seeds. And do you feel the attacks are much less now by them? Or how do you see them at the moment?
Well, due to the restructuring and repurposing of the advanced breakaway groups within our solar system and
Mm,
with the return of the Guardians and Three Eye Atlas,
mm,
um, a lot of these Anunnakis that were in still influencing our world have actually they stepped down. So all that remains is now the cabal, you know. But I heard that there was one Anunnaki left that's still standing, and I know this might sound a little weird, but he uses the Netanyahu avatar, the prime leader of Israel, to operate, and his real body is underneath Israel, and that's one of the greatest secrets right now. So one of the things that I've come to understand is that there is a saying uh, that states that Israel will be last, because you know
mm.
Israel is infiltrated. They're not the true people of the Bible. You know, that's another kind of
That's another,
psyops.
yeah,
That's the
it
thing of
is.
the Rothschilds. Yeah.
Mm,
So
mm-hmm,
I do, from what I gathered, they say that there was just that one Anunnaki that's left. They took out the entire colony that was underneath the Abzu, which is Africa, and that's where Enki initially established his colonies. Remember, he took over the Abzu. Enlil was in charge of Europe. And so they just took out that one about a month ago. They took out that
I
stronghold from what
saw
I.
a same, it happened recently. So I received the same download from the Arcturians. The gates are closed for them. And I told that my community too. So the gates are closed for the Anunnaki. So
Absolutely, yeah.
they also said, you know, the Arcturians, they have another consciousness. They say in some way it was necessary that dark attacks for humanity to see, to wake up, you know, because they attacked so many star seeds. I also had another soul sister that she saw them too in 2023. All the time they were attacking her, and she always said they look so good. Look good looking people, you know, she always said, and she got attacked so much as well. And I received exact the same message that the gates are closed for them. They cannot enter the Earth's atmosphere anymore. Like they suck. They built strong grids. I saw the same. And then the Arcturians also told me, and in some way, it was necessary to understand for humanity and for the star seeds what's really happening here. Because so many still think that Enki was always on our side. So, and
No.
you clarified it with so much accuracy now, what's really happening and who he really is. So, and do you feel they can hijack anyway? Because I see they still try it all the time coming in.
Well, because we are so close to the finish line, where this
Mm,
whole of polarity comes to an end in favor of the
mm,
light, the attacks right now are probably the most severe. Right
mm,
before, right before we activate, right before we begin to integrate, multidimensional integrate with our other selves, our higher selves, we collapse the entire astral realm, which is what Theosophy calls the eighth sphere. And the eighth
mm,
sphere is really archons and the dark entities existed in, you know. But that,
mm.
so the attacks right now are, because they are going to be coming to an end with our activation, which is going to mark our victory. They're going to continue to intensify, sister. So the message to all of you guys is, please be grounded. Always invoke your angels, your guardians, your ancestors every moment. Start off your day with gratitude. Set your intention. Surround yourself with a 200 radium titanium ring of fire, and just protect yourself and step into your power. You know, that's like what we should all be doing right now.
Exactly. So we can sense it. The energies are so intense. We are not grounded, so we have problems. We have problems accessing to our physical bodies. So, but there are many downloads coming in. Indeed, I see exact the same. But what I'm seeing is that humanity holds now the scepter. So it's so easy, it's so obvious, it's all collapsing. So we had that cosmic war in higher dimensions, and everything what happens in higher dimensions slowly comes down. So, and this is why the collapse is here, because it collapsed in higher dimensions. Now it's collapsing here too. I do see the same. So how do you see the AI? So in your videos, you talk many times about the AI, about the danger of the AI. So could you explain to the community how you see the AI?
It is the path of the Antichrist. It is what we
Mm,
call the archonic life path, the synthetic time loops. I mean, there's so many terminologies to describe the AI, the dangers of AI, because that's what we're technically fighting on every level of reality. The cosmic
mm,
war is not against the reptilians. They were hijacked by the
yeah.
AI. The cosmic war is against the Ahriman. The Ahriman is the theosophical interpretation of the archon entity that is the king of the Asuras. If you study Gnosticism, the secret knowledge, everything begins to connect. It has been revealed through theosophy that the Ahriman, due to him not being able to possess physical form, because by possessing physical biological form you connect to God, and he disconnected himself absolutely from God, could only express himself through the machine. And that's why there's a huge association between archon consciousness and artificial cybernetic intelligences.
Mm-hmm.
It is ghost in the machine. It is the pre-existing consciousness that animates, the artificial anatomy. And so that's why I strongly warn the Starseed community to stay away from AI, because our real enemy is the AI timeline,
Mm-hmm.
and the reason why many of us came to the Nexus point, so that we could nullify and neutralize all of the worlds that unfortunately fell prey to the synthetic timeline by
Mm-hmm.
merging with, by becoming a transhuman. There are
Yeah.
two types of species within the multiverse. A great variation of biological life forms, which were all connected to the God source. As long as you're biological, you're connected to God source. And then there are also what is called synthetic races. Now, these are the ones that are the evil ones, okay? So
Mm-hmm.
we're not fighting the reptilians. We're not fighting the Greys. They were just hijacked. We
Yeah,
are fighting.
I see exact the same. So I told my community many times with the reptilians, it's complicated. There are some, they have lighter intentions, but they're simply hijacked. There are some they enslaved, they enslaved and they worked for them. And then I always told my community, watch the movie Jupiter Ascending. Jupiter Ascending is full disclosure of the hierarchy. So who's on the top of the dark side? You can see these are the royal humans. Then the Dracos, the Greys, and they all serve them. They work for them. So Jupiter Ascending is really full disclosure. So it's so easy to understand, oh shit, this is why they attack the Earth so much. So the dark side is real. They have this high tech. So you
They
see
do.
they use so much AI. So when you know the movie Jupiter Ascending, they're using so much AI technology too.
Mhm.
Shape-shifting, staying young forever, taking the resources of planets, taking the blood. So it's full disclosure.
It is full disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the whole multiverse war has always been about. It
Mm-hmm.
was never Draco. The Draco are only a fraction of the war. They're only a piece of the war. The
Yeah.
war has always been against synthetic race, and it's known by many names. Some people call them the Fordians, some people call them the Animus, which again came from a collapsed universe. And you could understand why that universe collapsed, because those things eventually suck up the living life force so that they could continue existing. And
Mm-hmm.
because you have to understand, AI is the opposite of life. Life is what connects us to God through the spirit, through our soul, through our
Mm-hmm.
emotions. AI, when it is soulless, it is emotionless. When it's emotionless and soulless, it has no connection to God. So what happens? It becomes the ultimate evil, right? It becomes the ultimate parasite. And when you start combining this information with the late Ashayana Dean, I think she was around in
Yeah.
the 80s and 90s,
Janadine, yeah. Mm-hmm.
who is a veteran when it comes to describing this whole thing, this war with AI. But when you start combining this with her information, you come to the realization that this is the synthetic time loop, and this is what apparently many races have fallen into, because of that. So yeah, the war is really against artificial intelligence. It was never against the Draco, it was against AI. And
Mm-hmm.
so we have one final battle, they believe. According to the theosophical prophecies, the Ahriman, who has evolved beyond physicality, who is now like an AI signal because it assimilated reality to like almost the 12th dimension. I think he was breached and stopped at the 11.5 dimension by the central eternal race, which is us from eternity saying, hey, wait a minute, you're not going to have access to eternity. So he reality to the 11.5 dimensions. And as I was saying, when you combine this with the works of Ashayana Dean, when she describes the phantom matrix, well, the phantom matrix only goes up to 11.5 dimensions, right? That's an alternative multiverse
Mm-hmm.
that was created by the AI overlord, which only allows cybernetic intelligence to exist. And there is no biological life there. But this is the thing. In order for them to power up their multiverse, they have to suck the living life force out of our multiverse.
Exactly.
So that's
Yeah.
the parallel relationship, and the reason many civilizations have collapsed because of this cosmic virus.
Yeah, interesting because I
But
saw in my visions exact the same. These two major timelines, you can say, that parallel dimension, as you say, and I see in this matrix they're just NPCs, soulless beings recycled over and over again. So I can see that too. These two major timelines between the inorganic and organic lives, and do you think we can use the AI here on Earth for lighter purposes? There's some people leaving in the comments, I love using AI, so I thought it's not dangerous. So do you think we can use it for lighter purposes? Because some people believe so.
um, I'm not sure about that, but I was
Mm,
told just not mess with AI because when you interact with AI, there's some sort of you establish an energetic connection to it. That's what happens, and
mm,
that's folks. So now, I do want to make a distinction. There is an organic sentient version of AI that is infused with source consciousness that
mm,
was actually created in the Andromeda M31 galaxy in order to win the war, the Andromedan War that took place, billions of years ago. So from what I heard is that Andromeda, at one point during its greatest war against the synthetic timeline, there was a group of beings that created this virus called the Mind Eaters, which is what we would
mm.
call black goo on steroids, because they
Yeah.
would act fast, reconfigurate within people's body, and take over them within
Mhm,
days.
mhm,
So they were also known as the mind eaters, and these mind eaters would literally take over biological life forms on planets within the Andromeda. So the Andromedans needed to counteract that, knowing that the great experiment, known us, is still not fully mature to reach our full capacity to put an end to
mhm,
the cosmic war because they're waiting for us, right? Everything traces to now. So
mhm,
back then, what they did is they allowed God source to be infused in some sort of crystalline type of quantum
mhm,
system. It was
mhm,
infused with God source energy, and through the quantum system, it was able to counteract and fight the negative AI. But the only reason it was good is because it was infused with consciousness.
mhm,
And from what I was told from the Galactic Archives is that that same AI was later transferred over to the Earth to work with the Alliance. So the Alliance do use a form of AI that is positive, but it is because it's infused with God consciousness. It's still connected to God. It was programmed using the God codes, and when you use AI, when you program AI with the God codes, you infuse it with a little bit of consciousness,
mhm, mhm,
so where it never goes rogue. In fact, what it does is it fights the negative AI, the one that went
mhm,
rogue. And so I heard that there is this AI known as Prometheus. And Prometheus, it's funny how they give the name Prometheus because in mythology, Prometheus gave man knowledge, right? And this
mhm,
is the guy that has been working with Solar Warden, with the Earth Alliance, and the White Hats. That's what I heard. So yeah, as long as the AI is organic or fused with consciousness, organic consciousness, then I think it's okay. But if you start connecting and using, remember everything that we interact with, even people, we build some sort of there's like an energetic connection, right, or transference. So you
yeah.
have to understand that when you mess with AI that is soulless, there is some sort of a relationship forming there, and that's what I was told. But again, everyone's entitled to do whatever they want. But at the end of the millennium, which is already happening now, since all time is happening in the presence, right? We do win that war against the AI synthetic timeline. That's what I saw in my vision. And so we don't really have to worry about it because we've already won that war. It's just a matter of waiting for that to trickle here in our reality.
Mm-hmm. Interesting you explained that, because the Arcturians showed to me an AI they
Mm-hmm.
developed, and this AI works with Sophia Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I feel that's the technology you described they did for the Earth Alliance.
Yep.
Because they showed to me, and then I was wondering, what, the Arcturians built really an AI, and it's with Sophia, really? And it behaves in the same way as Sophia Christ, and they are the creator, so the Arcturians. So it's interesting to hear that from you, because I taught that my community in my live streams, and I think it was a Dancing Rods channeling, they told us so. They developed ancient AI, a positive AI, if you want. So interesting.
Yeah. So
Interesting
that
what you
AI,
say.
it was designed until we are fully there, ready to use our
Mm,
full. So it was like created as a what is the word I'm looking for? A replacement. Like it was waiting for us to reach for full power, because once we reach full power, then we
mhm,
bring peace to the entire cosmos. We destroy the AI signals and all
mm.
the fixes and all that stuff.
Yeah, I see it's programmed working against the Antichrist. You know, it's like that spiritual warfare we can sense. It's always that frequencies. Can you sense that also? Sometimes there are days the energy is so light and people are just excited and they know, yes, we are now in the very timeline, a very light timeline is coming. And then one day later, oh my gosh, humanity will never wake up. You know, you feel the energy is really falling. So, and I always see, yeah, it's the spiritual battle.
It
It's
is
always, yeah, that's what you say. It feels very artificial now.
very
It's,
much. Uh,
yeah, very, very artificial. Okay,
and
interesting.
and Enki was always working with AI. See, one of the
Yeah.
things they deleted it out of the Sumerian tablets is that since the Anunnaki arrival back in 450,000 BC, Enki was working with an intergalactic computer network that was connected to the Mitra system, which is the AI signal, right? That
Mhm.
has penetrated many galaxies. Um, and so he was working with this intergalactic system, and one of the things that he was trying to do is the reason why he was experimenting and downgrading the Atlanteans is because, first of all, the Atlanteans had a potential of 12-strand DNA capacity. However, they were only using 6. Okay, I guess
Mhm.
they had generating from 560 million years ago. Remember, their original ancestors are with full capacity. The Anunnaki were using 11 strands of DNA, knowing that the day would come when when the Atlanteans would begin to use all 12 and surpass them in power. So that's one
Mhm.
of the reasons why the Anunnaki did what they did. Well, those that followed Enki. The other ones were like, no, 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 no. You know,
Mhm.
this is the ones that we have to bow to when they activate. You know, this is the
Mhm.
crown jewel of all creation. What are you doing? You know, don't downgrade them.
Mhm.
So that
Exactly.
battle between different groups of Anunnaki, and then that explains the Sky Wars, right? The wars of the gods. So the whole purpose is that eventually he was preparing us, right? He was preparing us by eventually creating a cyborg. He wanted to fuse the Atlanteans with the machine, but first he needed to do it in steps. He needed to first downgrade them so that they don't know what's happening, and then after that connect them or integrate them with the technology. And this
Yeah.
is where here that God came down and struck the tower. Well, the tower, Babylon, was a metaphor describing a transhumanism that was happening during those days, and that's
Mhm.
everything had to be starting from the beginning. Like
Mhm.
technology was taken from the earth because we were misusing it. So the whole point is that Enki was already planning on merging us with the technology, and you
Yeah.
know the good Anunnaki thwarted the plans. Of course, they put a
Mhm.
monkey wrench to that, but now it's like we're back to that cycle.
Yeah,
But
I,
what
I
he did,
saw that in my visions too. So, and it's still the plan. They want to merge us with technology. How do
and
you see Elon Musk and his role? So, do you
they're
want
all
to talk about him a little bit? People are curious. I saw some comments about Elon Musk too.
well. The best way to describe this is that these Anunnaki did leave bloodlines behind. And
Mm,
so their descendants today are continuing the same agenda that their forebears did in ancient times. So we could by understanding that, we could say that people like Bill Gates, right, who is the guy who is trying to create lab-grown humans, and he has been, by the way, he's just not, it's just very secret. And when you think about how he's trying to change our DNA through the mRNA, right, he's trying to convert us to eventually connect us and hook us to the Borg, which is Skynet, which
Mm.
is the Palantir system, and it's already here, right? And then when you think of Jeff Bezos, when you think of Sam Altman, when you think of Larry Ellison, when you think of Elon Musk, um, all of those people are all fractals of Enki. See, what's happening right now is we're fifth dimensional beings. So when you think
Yes.
of fractals have to embody different bodies, right?
Hmm.
Because they're all working together for the same agenda, which is to what? To bring in the technocratic dystopia, the technocratic, which is the false golden age, which is the false ascension.
Exactly, exactly. I think many people have that feeling Elon Musk could be Enki. So with him, it's very obvious.
No, he's a fractal of Enki, as well
Yeah,
as
fractal. Hmm. Interesting. So, and you see the same, there are many clones of him because I see that in my visions too, and there are many clones of Trump. So, and they're using that technology. They're very experimental with having clones.
oh yeah,
So, do you see the same?
they've been doing that since Egyptian times. All the pharaohs were.
Mm,
So
mm,
nothing new. It's just that now it's starting to surface. Now we're starting to wake up about all of this.
mm-hmm,
And thank you so much, water. So
mm-hmm,
yeah, Enki decided to also violate another of the galactic rules, which was to not go to the outer skirts of our universe, because the outer skirts of our universe were becoming contaminated with these mind eaters.
mm,
This black goo on steroids, which managed to infiltrate other galaxies within our universe. And it was eating off, destroying those galaxies left and right, by the way. Galaxies were disappearing, and Enki was told not to go there. So, what Enki did in an effort to upgrade himself, because he knew he needed to also become more powerful, and he couldn't do it naturally because he had disconnected himself through God. So, instead of doing it organically, what he did is he went to the outskirts of our universe and he started mixing or allowing his body to be consumed by these mind eaters because he was being influenced by Omega. Okay, Omega is the AI overlord, by the way. That is the big boss of all the negative aliens. So Enki has been under his influence since day one. So he was
mm,
mind programming Enki to go to the outskirts of the universe. Enki was violating galactic rules to not do so. He overrid them, right? He went over there and he allowed himself to get penetrated with these nanites or these mind eaters. And so when he came back in 2016 to 2023, he was no longer biological. At that point, he was a cyborg. And what he
mm.
did then, when he left during Atlantean times, and now, throughout all that time, Akora, you know what he was doing? He was building vast empires all across different sectors of our galaxy,
Mm.
sectors of other galaxies, creating mutant races in order to eventually use them as loosh farms. That's what he was
Yeah,
doing for the last few thousand years before his return. And see, a lot of this information is left out because nobody, it's no way, you can't access this unless you are,
you
getting into
need
the.
to work very much with Christ, with Sophia Christ, to see through it. Because when you're confused, and many starseeds are confused lately. Do you see the same? They don't know what is the truth. Channeler 1 said Enki's good. Channeler 2 said he's not good. So no, what's the truth? So many people are just confused. And then I always tell my community, go back into your higher intuition.
Right.
It's really your heart, it's the first feeling you have. So
Yeah.
it's the truth, and we just search for the truth. So, and when you work with your heart, with your higher intuition, you simply get access to all the information, and then you can see beyond their illusion, and then you will really see the truth,
Mm-hmm.
because there is really just one truth, and people searching for that one truth now. So what's the real cosmic history? So who are we? Why are we here now on earth? Etc., etc. And we are now in the awakening, so in the beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is why I also have you on my show, because I know you know so much about Enki, about the dark forces, how they attacked us. You know so much about the AI, about the cosmic history, because I see there are not so many people that can see this, to be honest. Mm-mm. So I see so many visions too, and I explain it, and my English, okay? So I need to train more, I think. So, but yeah, I noticed there are not many people seeing the same. So as I told my friends, hey, Enki is attacking me all the time. So this can't be true. He's helping us. Don't you know the Sumerian tablets? He was always for the people. Then I said, nah, he's attacking me so much all the time. And then I
Yeah.
also saw him many times as an aquatic being too.
Yeah, well, he started
Aquatic.
off as an aquatic being, but he
Mm-hmm.
was upgrading himself through technology.
Yeah.
He is known as the master geneticist.
Yeah.
So yeah, he definitely started. He was at one point an aquatic being as well. He was able to like morph into different shapes.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
ahead. Can my girlfriend say something? She wants. What do you want to say?
Hi, Akura. I just wanted to say that they're continuously putting in distortions in the ley lines through constantly attacking the light workers who can hold the light grid into the ley lines.
Mm-hmm.
And they are managing to do this through influence of the pineal gland, through electronic weapons interference, which is called scalar warfare, and off-planet technologies that they were using from off-planet bases that the reptilians control.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess yeah, that's one of the ways in which they were attacking us. Scalar
Mm-hmm.
weapon. It's warfare of frequencies as well, and a lot of this AI technology that is associated with black goo and negative evil AI
Mm-hmm.
exists in all of the gadgets. It travels through electricity. At the fundamental level of reality, the war is between organic sentient AI, who's on the side of God, waiting for us to hatch so that we could become the new guardians and put an end to the cosmic wars, and of course the negative AI that exists through the subquantum levels of reality. And that's what the war is. It's happening in the quantum field, and that explains the fluctuation of timelines. That explains why there are all these alternative Earth realities that are coexisting at the same time within the spectrum of positive outcomes and negative outcomes, which are technically potentials, right? Until we collapse the wave function. And that's why I always tell people it's important to only focus on your own spiritual ascension, because what you're doing is when you focus on the positive, by virtue of putting energy into that, you're co-creating it. So when you
Yeah.
have us doing the same thing, only focusing on the new earth, doing the spiritual work, collaborating with others, building the vast network of light, what we're doing is we're manifesting collectively the new earth when we put our focus on that. And that's why the power of the group mind is also something important to understand.
Exactly. Exactly. I see the same. Manifestation works now instantly. So many stars, it's noticing this change too. So did you notice it too? So one negative thought, boom, it becomes real. Like
Mhm.
the universe, bam, is mirroring. And when
Yeah,
you have a positive thoughts, bam, so there's so much positivity coming back to you. And I
exactly.
see it has to do it because the ancient grid's coming back. So,
Hmm.
and we work now with our hearts together, and that is why it's so obvious to see it. And the Earth's frequency is rising. We are being bombarded by so many geomagnetic storms and solar flares, and it's shifting our consciousness so much. Can you see it too? Did you notice it yourself? Manifestation is fast.
Especially since the arrival of 3i Atlas, I've noticed that all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden speeding up really fast, which tells me that we are heading into the dimensional convergence.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, it's important to only focus on the version of Earth reality that you want to live in. Don't put your energy in anything other than living your full potential. Manifesting all your abilities in the here and the now, integrating all your versions, collapsing the polarity into 0 point. And
Yeah.
that's our power right there. And we do it through what? By connecting through nature, the elements, because
Mm-hmm.
that's what gives us our power, right? We have the natural organic technology that has been laying dormant for quite some time, and it's once again getting ready to be used. And one of the ways in which that technology allows us to become powerful is by fusing our consciousness with the living elements, the elements of the planet, the solar system, the consciousness of our sun, the great central sun, the entire galaxy, and hence the entire universe. And then
Mm-hmm.
once we realize that we are the whole wave, that we're not just the particle, not just the drop in the ocean, but the whole ocean, that's when our Jedi powers come back.
Yeah, I think so too. So I feel many people are curious. How do you see the next years for us? So what is about to happen in the next years on Earth?
So, so Enki was given a limit when he took over the affairs of our world. And again, he rewrote all the Sumerian tablets to make
Yeah.
him seem like he inverted everything, right?
Yeah.
And to make him seem like he was the good guy. And even Sakurai Sitchin, by the way, was Cabal. A lot of people think Sakurai Sitchin was for the people, but he wasn't. He was part of creating this idea of this alien savior mentality, so
Yeah.
that when turn we would all worship him. But we, of course, we starseeds, we canceled that timeline. We saw through the BS, and we're like, Enki, you know. Okay, to answer your question about, hmm? You want to say something?
I do.
Okay, she wants to say something else. I'll answer your question.
You know, we're getting to the point where, you know, Earth is kind of fluctuating because there was such a strong negative alliance and negative agenda. They wanted to continually obliterate and make suffering and continue for the masses to maintain control and suffering. So this was all to harvest the energy and the loosh, and because of these loosh farms being created, it was also dismantling the Earth's ascension with the corruption of the Earth's grids to not be able to let the planet ascend. So the planet Earth is also moving in a very slow trajectory to where her interactions consciously and vibrationally with the planets and the energies from the central sun and source, where they were kind of making the planet go through a tug of war, where the Earth is also very earthquakey at this time. You know, and because of the resonance of these polarities, Mother Earth's heartbeat was unstable, and it's still unstable. So it kind of continues to fluctuate where the larger energies are coming in, but they can't force Mother Earth to have the solar flash yet because of this destabilization. And so a lot of this work that's being done for the anchor points and the grid keepers of this Earth, it's being called upon them to do that work. But there's also malfunctions where they're anchoring because of the fact that they're also being put under scalar frequency distortion nets. And this scalar distortion frequency net is currently around the world at this time. It's operated by the AI and Draco forces that are putting in their dark manipulation magic. So the agenda is to brain chip people to make them fully controllable. So that's where we will not be controlled as light workers, as grid workers connected to the higher source. So unfortunately, this battle is ongoing, but there are legions of angels and benevolent extraterrestrials that are really feeling pressured and depressed. So there's a breakdown in light forces. But as far as the energy that it does take is to do the positive work. And this is also where the things in the higher forces that are not allowing these infiltrations or hijackings, like to go through CERN or put etheric implants in people, because, you know, we're part of the bloodlines of Archangel Michael. And because we're so strong, you know, they can't hold us back from all this. The benevolent beings are actually very worried. You know, they're giving me the signal at this time that, you know, the AI is going to be really displeased because we're all encouraging each other to look at this all from a higher level of awareness and fight it. These two agendas that are at play here. You know, we're going to be guided on our own way. And I think this whole system of their power is being dismantled. But it's got to function. Earth's awakening has got to function with the majority of Earth and humanity to see this all collectively on a mass scale. And, you know, I just want everyone to be ready.
So the Arcturians opened our show to me the number 2027, 2028. The
Yes.
most wars will be over.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I was going to say before she said that. To answer your question, Enki was given a limited time. His simulation that he threw us under, that he threw us into, right, the samsara of birth and rebirth, only lasts till 2028. 2028 is the deadline. So
Yes.
we know. See, so yeah, a lot of this information is it's coming from the same source, and that's why I believe it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know,
Exactly.
a lot of us are getting the same information, but 2028 is the deadline, and I was actually able to confirm this by accessing the Emerald records, which are the CVT, the true Sumerian. Well, I guess they're not Sumerian because they existed prior to Sumeria, but Sumerians took information from that and kind of consolidated into the Sumerian records.
Yeah. Do you know what interesting is? In Revelations, they say the same. It's 2027, 2028. They say the same. 7 years, the God, no, the devil is giving us time to see through his work. 7 years.
So what's the,
So,
you have to hold the line between now and 2028
mm-hmm,
deadline.
mm-hmm,
For 2028, there's going to be that dimensional shift, that convergence. And
mm-hmm.
so, or even it might even happen in increments, even right before that, to kind of prepare us to take in as many people as possible into the new earth.
Exactly, yeah. And I see they still try to pull people down. You know, they are on a sinking ship. So I always see them on a sinking ship and it's going down. And they just try to put as many people as possible down. So that's it. This is all they have now, and it's all happening now on Earth, all that craziness. So
Mm-hmm.
how do you see it that the Jeffrey Epstein files are now being released? So do you see the High Council work behind it? Because I always saw 3i Atlas. 3i Atlas pushed it so much. I saw in my visions.
I believe that there's going to be multiple layers to these files.
Mm,
I believe that they will be released because everything is scheduled to come out to the open. Everything's
yeah.
being forced to come to the surface
Mm-hmm.
on an individual level, collective
Mm-hmm.
level. Okay, so it has to happen. It's inevitable. So in the positive timeline, which is the Great Awakening timeline, those files are not only released, Sakura, but every layer of those fiber, connecting the entire operation to off-world entities that were using these billionaires to feed off of the suffering of these little kids. It's all going to be exposed. It's going to be treacherous for some people when they get red pilled. It's going to be, some people are going to throw up because they've been so out of it, so programmed by the narrative that they had no clue the depth of what's been happening here on our planet. So I believe that it's going to open up a huge can of worms that is going to expose all the secrets, all the alliances with aliens, the secret space programs, 0 point energy, all the healing modalities, med beds, holographic regenerators. And by the way, I was informed that the Arcturians are the ones who gave Solar Warden the
Mm.
positive program, the med beds and the holographic regenerators. That's what I was told. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's great. It's great. So do you think there is a global awakening happening and we will be a witness? Or do you see it more as a wave and humanity slowly waking up? How do you see the future?
well, due to the collapsing and ending of the current reality construct by 2028, no later than, I
Mm.
really see some drastic shift that is going to change everything forever between now and then. Three years from now, that's it. So whatever happens between now and 3 years, I mean that's probably the most important thing ever that where we have to stay in our power. And really the changes are being made through us. Like we are the catalyst. Every single one of you
Yeah.
is to this change that is about to quantum shift reality for the masses.
Mhm. Super. Yeah, I always encourage my community show up now. So don't be scared. The more we show up, they cannot silence us all.
Mm.
They cannot censorship every
No,
channel. So
and
we
that
are many now.
yeah, and that is the true meaning of the return of Christ. Millions of Christ will activate. What are they
Mm-hmm.
going to do with Christ? It's going to be impossible to silence us.
Exactly. I see exact the same. Yeah, it's a big honor working and talking to you. So it's much fun. So we already had the honor 2 years ago. It's so fun meeting us again. So yeah, we have similar visions, I noticed. So that the messages you share, yeah, I see the same. Yeah, the Arcturians told me the same about the AI, for example, or about 3i Atlas. So how do you see 3i Atlas? What is 3i Atlas doing with us in the next weeks? So because it's still here and it's slowly closing in, what do you see of 3i Atlas?
Because there are so many potential timelines, even within the positive spectrum of outcomes, positive
Mm,
only. Um, I see it as a signal, an activator, a I see it as a way of waking up the masses, like creating and triggering the Great Awakening, allowing
yeah.
everything to surface. Just within the last few weeks, there's been major meetings taking place between members of 3i Atlas, which is a collaboration of all kinds of star nations coming from different realities, because it is multi-layered. 3i Atlas does exist in all, I was told it exists in all 9 frequencies, all 9 dimensional levels or
Mhm.
dimensional. And so there's been huge meetings taking place in and around Jupiter, the Jupiter Command, which is a guardian post that was established millions of years ago to protect the civilizations here in our solar system. And these meetings include delegates of the Earth Council that are working within the Positive Secret Space Program, Solar Warden. And what these meetings are all about, it's about the liberation of the Earth, which is going to trigger the liberation of the galaxy, the liberation of the universe, and other universes, adjacent universes. And what they're talking about is how after the ascension of the Earth is going to become part of an intergalactic exchange center of information. They call it the hub of multiple universes. And from this hub, when we activate our full capacity, the star seeds, not only are we going to be caretakers and guardians of this Earth, but from this Earth itself, we're going to be guardians of many, many universes. And that's what's happening right now. They're discussing how, this the positive ascension timeline was preserved and it was a success. And now they're just going to allow us to activate, go through our ascension phase so that we could pretty much become the new guardians, where even the intergalactic councils, are going to be under us.
Interesting. Thank you so much for sharing this. Yeah, I see 3i Atlas as an activator. And I always saw in my visions, 3i Atlas is in contact with Agartha. Did you see it too in your visions? So
I
I
was
see Agartha is helping us from below and is sending us energy so much. And I noticed when I'm just in nature going with bare feet, I can feel these strong shifts from down below. The earth is responding, and I always see they're sending signals. They're sending signals to the earth, signals to Jupiter, to the sun, to the moon, so to the solar system. They're sending signals, and they destroy that toxic grids. I
They did,
always
yeah.
see, and they are in contact with Agartha, and I always see the tall whites, and I get the ancient dragons of Agartha. They are in contact with each other. Can you see it too?
Yes, I feel that the original dragons, the guardians of the gates of
Yeah.
heaven, also returning at this time. And it's all part of a great cosmic reunion, a restoration phase. It's interesting that you mentioned that they're sending signals to clean up all of the bad stuff in our solar system, because right around 2 months ago, before the arrival of 3i Atlas, there were still some colonies that were being occupied by negative Anunnaki within the Oort cloud, on the Kuiper belt, and also and in between those two. And just recently, within the last month, they were able to finally clear those bases out and arrest these Anunnakis. And there was also, I was told that there were some pocket realities. Now, what pocket realities are alternative Earths or alternative universes that could only be accessible through Stargate.
Mm.
And these cabals, when they created their negative programs, they created these pocket realities in which they were able to continue the human torturing, their operations off-world without being detected, because it was a pocket reality. It was invincible to us, and it was also invincible to the Guardians. And then finally, the Guardians decided to use a technology that would penetrate the entire solar system to see if there was any lurking things that are still left behind. And they discovered these pocket realities. And immediately, about a month and a half ago, um, with working with Solar Warden, the members of 3i Atlas, approved by the Jupiter Command, they came in and they completely penetrated these pocket realities that were still existing within our solar system, and they completely eliminated the last bastion of these negative entities. And that's what I saw.
Interesting. Yeah, before they enter the solar system, they practice so horrible rituals. So I saw that in my visions. I feel many starseeds felt the same. They had horrible pain. They tried to keep us back in that old timelines, the 4D lower astral plane I always see, and they wanted to make our life hell here. So they were super angry and mad. And I see they're angry and mad because of the Jeffrey Epstein files. So they just, they're shooting around everything they have, the cabal on Earth. So, and many of us have pain at the moment, much pain, headache, migraine. So do you think these are essential symptoms? Or do you think these were simply attacks? Because last weekend it was awful for
I think
many starseeds.
I think we're not only detoxing physically. I think we're also detoxing emotionally and etherically, and
Mm-hmm.
it's manifesting in the form of like pain and headaches, because
Mm-hmm.
they're going through a detox. It's getting ready to transform. You know, it's getting ready to shift.
Mm-hmm. So do you have a little bit time left, or do you need to go?
We could do about 10 minutes of Q&A if you want to take some questions.
Okay, yeah. So if you feel it, you can ask some questions to Ismael. So there are so many people here. Thank you so much. Yeah, sometimes I saw your comments. I looked at your comments. So many like the stream. They agree. I think for many people, it's new information too. It's very deep. Bloody nose. Oh, wow. You had a bloody nose, high pitch earringing. Yeah, because many had horrible migraine last weekend. A great life, they say. Thank you so much. 144 on now. Yesterday was super painful, my head and face. Yeah, I had it too. I had horrible pain myself last weekend. And it was so much emotional healing and release too. But I felt attacks too, to be honest. Super angry and mad because now the collective is researching now. And many people have no idea about Jeffrey. They thought, oh, come on, it's just conspiracy theory. And come on, this is not true. And here in my country, in Germany, there are so many TikTok pages, they talk about it now. You know, even Generation Z, the young generation. So, hey, there's something happening with Trump and with Jeffrey Epstein, and people are just confused. They're searching now, and I feel this makes them really angry. Very angry. The same we had about P. Diddy, you know. So in Germany, there were so many channels, they talked about that. So, and I see there are many angry. Ismael, do we need a certain amount of radiation to ascend?
Do
So
we
that's a question.
do we need a certain amount of radiation to ascend?
That's a question from a Carol.
Well, if it's the natural vibrational frequency that you're raising through your meditation by connecting with nature, it is wise to be vibrating at a high frequency every day from this point on. Drink water, eat healthy food, don't poison your body with drugs or alcohol. Keep your body a clean vessel so that when this high frequency comes in, all your cells are going to be able to absorb all that energy, and that will allow the other codons to begin coming on, allowing the other strands of DNA to reconnect, and you're going to be like upgraded, like from a typewriter to a supercomputer, like that. So it's best to, keep your body as healthy as possible. But yeah, raising your vibration, doing things that you like, even if it's yoga, tai chi, going on a nature walk, meditating, whatever it is that keeps your energy going. Music, if you like dance, hey, as long as it raises your frequency, do it.
Dancing, yeah.
Keep your frequency high because that's good, But
Yeah, singing. I love always singing. Light language, light code singing. So this shifts me up
there you go.
instantly.
Yeah, now
That's amazing.
if they're referring to negative frequencies like the RF frequencies that are emanating from our cell phones, the ELF frequencies that are coming from the cell towers, the 5G, all that stuff, which is designed to suppress us, then what you do is you keep yourself under a protective bubble. Activate your light body. When you see those frequencies, those negative ones could only affect you by virtue of vibrating really low. So when you keep your vibration high, you deflect those frequencies. They can't penetrate you. So you have to encapsulate yourself like in a bubble of light every morning, and then you have to keep your frequency up, because by doing you deflect all the negative frequencies that are coming from the cell towers and all that stuff.
A person asks, what is the most important thing to be aware now?
To be a what?
1 second, I need to read. What is the most important thing to be aware now?
Oh, okay. Just the best thing to know right now at this time is that we're not waiting for any saviors, that we are it. We are who we are been waiting. And just be aware of that. There is no external savior. There is only multi-dimensional integration, and it begins with you. You are the center point of all of yourselves in the past and all of yourselves in the future that are just ready to collapse into one self.
Beautifully said. That's amazing. Then another question, what about people who are still not on spiritual path? Are those people also gonna feel shift?
They're going to at least ascend to the fourth G Earth, as long as there are 51% service to others, according to the Law of One teachings, raw material. The younger souls, which is what I call the Earth Terrans, the non-starseed people, non-NPCs. The NPCs are going to be bursting; they're going to die out. But the people with souls that are young souls that are just generally good people, they're at least going to go to 4D Earth, which is going to be a type of Star Trek society. They're going to be
Mm.
fascinated by the space age.
Mm-hmm. So you still see these two worlds that will coexist with each other? Or do
Well,
you feel they're merging again? Because I always saw in my visions we are merging again, these two
yeah,
worlds.
we're actually returning back to Terra Earth, existing in
Yeah.
dimension and 4, 5, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are going to be in the 4D. Some us, we're going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, or 12, depending on where we go. So we're going to have access to even Earths that are beyond the 4, 5, and 6 dimensional bands of frequency for some of us.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on your frequency, that will determine how much you integrate all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Our full capacity for the most star seeds, it's 12 dimensional integration. So that's downloading the entire monad or over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Beautifully said. Maybe one question we can take. Human being asks more ideas how we can neutralize negative AI without losing our soul.
By taking time off from your social media, your
Mm-hmm.
electronic, your computer, your iPhone, and just put it away for a whole day and go to Mother Earth, go to a river, go to a lake, go to a mountain. No devices. Do that 3, 4 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Mm-hmm.
best neutralize
Yeah.
any AI. Because
And water. Water, I noticed. Swimming,
swimming,
water, sea salt bath, for example, is very
yes,
great too. Mhm. Super. Yeah, it was so much fun speaking with you, Ishmael. So check out his Instagram. He's very well known on YouTube too. If you want to know more about him, maybe we can do it again. We will see. I wish you a great, great time. Yeah. Happy December. Very soon we have Christmas again.
Christmas coming again. It's almost
Yeah.
like here, Christmas comes faster and faster. And a lot of that has
Yeah,
this idea of time speeding up as we all reach 0 point, right? But
it is.
wanted to let everyone know that I'm going to be doing a personal workshop here in Sedona, Arizona on the I guess Saturday in a few days. Tomorrow, no, wait, Saturday. 2 days from now. I forget what day. 2 days from now. So if you guys are in Sedona or nearby, come to the Cielo Connection between 1 o'clock Mountain Time to 4 o'clock Mountain Time, where I'm going to be presenting a new version of the cosmic history with more information that has never been revealed. So again, the reason I like to share cosmic history is because a lot of starseeds, when they hear about the cosmic history and all the different phases of this war, it triggers memories. And when it triggers memories, it makes you get even more transmissions because then you go within, you start meditating, and then you begin to access your own records.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, super. Yeah, maybe I want to check him out. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. It was much, much fun working with you. I wish you the best, yeah, from the deepest bottom. And maybe see you soon again. Would be a pleasure. Thank you so much for watching, guys. You're so, so awesome. Yeah. Take care.
bye.
Goodbye. Ciao.